So we had the OLPC summit here in San Francisco, and you went to Haiti? When did you go there?
I went to Haiti on the 9th of October.
So it's like a couple weeks ago.
Yes. And my job was to help them with their infrastructure, their power. The batteries didn't seem to last long enough, and when I got there and measured things, I discovered that one of the batteries was dead, that had been permitted to run dry. And
so this is the battery there?
The battery, one of the batteries in that array was defective. And so I read on the internet and discovered that you're not recommended to replace one battery. You should replace all 8 batteries, but we said they don't have the money for 8 batteries, so let's try one. And we did, and it worked much better after we had a good array of batteries again. And so that was sort of the output from one.
So this is one school where they have extra laptops. How many do they have in that school?
Well, when I got there, they had 20, and somebody else arrived with 10 in their briefcase, and I brought 10, so they had 40 when we were going.
40 and one set of batteries to kind of like store power from where? From the grid or from?
Well, they were connected to the grid. The grid was on about half the time. So I understand that the week before I arrived, the batteries or the power was off for 3 or 4 days in a row. But while I was there, the power was on most of the time. So when the battery was off, the batteries would become exhausted, then they'd have to use the generator.
So how are the conditions over there in Haiti?
How are the conditions? Well, I felt like I was in a prison. We were advised not to go out running or walking in the city. We would be together in groups of 2 or 3. So
why?
Because it's not
Safety?
really safe.
No, it's not safe. And they have power problems?
Yes.
Like extreme power problems, or how big of work is it going to be to fix all that?
Well, I don't think you can expect that they will have power 100% of the time, probably for 5 years, maybe 10. So you have to figure out how to make something work, how schooling can work when there's an absence of reliable power.
So how did you hear about this project, or how did you get involved?
Well, I knew Adam, and Adam said he was going to Haiti, and I said, well, if you can use anything that I can offer, let me know.
Adam's this guy.
Yeah.
So Haiti is, there are many children over there, and the schools, there was an earthquake, and they need to rebuild schools. What do you think?
Talking of entry-level drugs.
Well, many of these children didn't have enough money to pay for their schooling, so the school was not willing to say, if you don't have money, you can't get an education. So this school was saying they needed to figure out a way to pay for teachers and books some other way, and the way they were planning to do it was to accommodate visitors and volunteers. And so volunteers, for volunteering, paying $25 a night, would pay for a teacher's salary for a month. So that was basically their strategy. The manager of the school asked me, how can I accommodate more volunteers? Because we're going to have 40 of them in January, and I'm afraid that the power will go out, the sewer won't work right, and my volunteer income stream will dry up.
So your work is leading towards accommodating 40 extra volunteers, hundreds of students.
That was the challenge I was given. Yes.
All right.